it's me, Mary. I am here today with a video that is just going to go over and show you some of the best vintage pieces I've ever sold that have made the most profit. So if you didn't know, I have been selling vintage clothes on Etsy since December of 2009, so that's been like 10 years. I'm going to stick with stuff that was in the past like 3 or 4 years, and also stuff that I found myself that I didn't consign, and I'm gonna try to pick a few pieces with like kind of an interesting backstory. Also, I want to say, before I started my YouTube channel the second time, which I had tried to start this in 2015, I think there's like 4 videos from back then. Wish I would have stuck with it. I would have been a lot farther along now. But since the second time I started YouTube, which was in like the summer of last year, I had never watched a reseller video. I never really even thought about what I was doing with reselling. I didn't look for like videos about bolos. I never even knew what a bolo was. I didn't think about, you know, looking for certain things. I literally just went to thrift stores and estate sales and bought what I thought was cute. These are definitely things that were the most successful for me, that I made at least $50 on, and much more. You'll see. I'm gonna kind of just go in a random order and then save the very best for last, because that one is a doozy. I still can't even believe it myself that I found that and sold it. So without further ado, I will be showing you the items right here and talking about them right here. If you like vintage reseller, thrifting, or eco-friendly fashion videos, please hit subscribe and click the bell to be notified every time I make a video, and you'll never miss a thing from me, because that would be tragic. So the first thing I'm gonna mention, this wasn't a super crazy sale, but it was this really pretty 1970s bathrobe. It had like a print of jungle animals on it. It looked really expensive to me. I couldn't really find much about it. The brand was Periphery, and I sold it for $50 and the buyer paid shipping. They also left a review which said exactly as described and rather lovely. Thank you. I just bought that because I thought it was pretty. I thought it looked expensive. I remember I got it at Salvation Army, and so it was probably $4 or under. The next thing is something that I sold rather recently in the last month or two. It is this beautiful unicorn sweater. This sweater I got in an estate sale. It was probably like $6. It was in amazing condition. It's kind of like a Christmas sweater vibe, but with unicorns all over it. I sold this for $73 and free shipping. So the shipping did probably cost like a flat rate envelope, so if you minus that out, people like weird crazy sweaters and unicorns. I mean, the fact that I had a unicorn, that's better than anything I could have imagined. I didn't see anything like this online. I just listed it high and hoped someone bought it. My method for pricing, if I don't see anything online, is to just list it really high and then, you know, knock it down as the months go on and hope someone buys it for really high. In this case, it worked, and I only had it in my store for maybe like a couple weeks before someone bought it for $73. The next one is this really interesting shirt. It is, I'm gonna butcher this name. The brand is Chouinard. Basically, I just thought the pattern was cool. It had like hiking tools and things like that on it. I looked it up when I got home, and I realized that it was like one of the very first Patagonia items. Chouinard is after Yvonne Chouinard, who was the famous rock climber and founder of Patagonia. I sold this for $105 plus shipping, and that was just kind of a fluke. It was one of those shirts that I just thought was cool, and then I looked up the brand and it was really rare. So definitely was happy about that one. It sold almost immediately. Next up is a vintage 1970s Duke ACC basketball t-shirt. It was in excellent condition, and it was from the 70s, so that's like pretty old. It was 1977 into 78, and I sold this for $75 plus $6.50 shipping. I do not remember where I got this, but t-shirts are usually less than $3, so that was an excellent flip. I recommend selling sports stuff in general. The older it is, the more you can list it. I just kind of took a leap of faith listing it that high. I was shocked someone bought it for that much. but I wasn't mad at it. This one is one of my favorite finds ever for the reason being it was free. It's an REM t-shirt. It's from the 1980s. The reason it was free is I was at an estate sale, and it was like an estate sale someone was just putting on themselves. It wasn't someone who really knew a lot about estate sales, I don't think. Anyways, they had a basement and it was like super creepy, and there's all this stuff on the floor, and the guy who was doing the sale was walking through and he was like, literally anything in these boxes you can just have. And I had already seen this and I was like, even the t-shirts? And he was like, yeah, just take it. And so I was like, oh, are you sure? And he was like, yes. And I was like, okay, not asking again. I'm going to just leave with this t-shirt, which I did, and I sold it for $198. Someone who bought it was also in another country, which they paid $14 for shipping. I definitely got this within the last year, but I did have it in my shop for maybe like 6 months before someone actually bought it. But I was thrilled, elated, overjoyed, ecstatic, all the positive words. I couldn't have asked for a better outcome with this beautiful REM t-shirt. I would say if you find any band tee, any singer, anything, and it has a year on it that is vintage, I would buy it, even if it's not anyone that exciting. I mean, you don't have to sell it for that much. You could sell it for $25, but like anything with a band or something like that could be worth a lot. Start it high, lower it. I've sold the most random band stuff. There's this country singer named Crystal Gale. I had a shirt with her. I've sold Cyndi Lauper t-shirts for $200. That was a consignment, so I didn't include it in this video. But literally, like any band, anything that has a singer on it, sell it, pick it up. This next piece is a 1980s Swatch watch. It has this picture of a weird high heel in the middle. It was actually part of something called the Swatch Artist Collection series. This one was an artist named Cisco Jimenez, I believe, and it was titled Stiletto. I was able to find information about this online. I ended up selling it at a vintage market for $80, and I didn't have to pay shipping because the person bought it in real life. I found that at an estate sale and I didn't pay very much for it at all. So I went to a thrift store and I saw this little, it was a teddy bear or doll or something, and it had on this Snoopy sweatsuit. I looked at the sweatsuit closer and I saw it was copyrighted from the 1950s. It was so cute. The pants were all stretched out and not great, but I asked the lady, I just want to buy the clothes off of this doll. Can I do that? And she said, no, I just have to buy the doll. And I think the doll only ended up being like $3, which maybe was cheaper than buying the clothes. So I bought the whole doll and I was like, well, I'm gonna just take the clothes off. Can I just redonate the doll to you right now? So that's what I did and went on my way with the sweatsuit. I didn't list the pants. They were just kind of too far gone. So I sold this one baby sweatshirt for $52 on Etsy, and the buyer paid shipping of $3.75. I consider that a really good flip for a baby sweatshirt. $52? I mean, I don't know, is somebody putting this on their baby? Are they just gonna keep it? I don't know. What are they gonna do? Were people even wearing sweatshirts in the 50s? Weren't they just wearing poodle skirts and pompadours and suits on planes? Anyways, so that was really exciting that that one sold. And it didn't take long to sell either. So, Snoopy 1950s baby clothes. BOLO. Next, this was a recent sale. These are a pair of vintage Lee overalls. I had them listed for $95, but there was a sale I had going on which knocked off $23, and the person paid $71. They did not pay shipping. I was really excited someone bought them, and I felt like that was a great price. 95 obviously was high, so putting it on sale was great. And I think overalls, especially vintage overalls, are always a great thing to pick up. On the same kind of shape, this is a ski bib that I sold for $70 plus $7.75 shipping. It is a 1970s Obermeyer ski bib. It is a skinny leg. It is very strange. I saw this at a thrift store and was like, what is that? I need it. One of those things I thought would never sell, but it did, and I was elated. This is a Weezer hoodie. I sold it for $80 plus $8.83 shipping. I remember seeing this and being super excited, but really worried that maybe it wasn't old enough to be something that exciting because Weezer is not that old. However, this one was from 1995. It says, if it's too loud, turn it down. And a hoodie. Hoodies are great. It was in perfect condition, and so $80. I was thrilled. Like I said, music stuff. If it's music, if it's older than 20 years, get it. This is a gorgeous red Oaxacan dress that has the embroidery at the top. I actually don't remember exactly where I found it, but the story behind this is that I had it for sale at a market, and some woman kindly came up to me and said, this is really excellent dress and you should have this for at least $100. I probably had it for like 40 or something. She was like, you could sell that for a lot more. I don't want it or need it, but just FYI. So I pulled that from the shelf and I changed the listing online to $125. Someone then had a coupon code which took off $20 and they paid $105 for this. Now, for the piece de resistance, this item I found by pure fate. It was crazy. I'm going to tell you a little backstory. So I lend out clothes for photo shoots that models can use in exchange for me using their pictures on social media. I was going really out of my way on my lunch break to give this girl a dress to wear. I did not realize how far she lived. So I drove all this way during my lunch break and I dropped off the dress with her. I was leaving her neighborhood and saw a sign that said estate sale, and I was like, I'm all the way out here. I am going to go in this estate sale real quick and just see what they have. I looked around, didn't really see a whole lot. Then I went up to the attic and there was just some random clothes in there. They weren't priced. I saw this beautiful dress hanging up. I didn't know anything about it. I just took it. I went downstairs, asked the man how much it was. He said, you can have it for $1. Then I got home and researched it. Not only did I find out that it was Adini Sultana for Neiman Marcus, I'm probably saying that wrong. Not only did I find out that it was that really beautiful designer, but I found a picture of Kate Moss wearing the same dress in a different color. I was like looking up comps. People were selling these for like $1,000, or they were listed for $1,000. I didn't even know how to see sold comps at that point. So I listed it for $1,050, and the person, I did give them a discount of 40%, but I still sold it for $630 and free shipping. I bought it for $1. Sold it for $630 plus shipping. I could not be mad at that. I think it was pure fate that I was there that day. The stars aligned. I found the dress. It's by far the most I've ever made on one item of clothes. Of anything, probably, let's be honest. Been selling silver, I'm not making that much money. These are just things to be on the lookout for. I just wanted to kind of show you some of my favorite sales I've made. What are your best vintage sales? Let me know in the comments. So yeah, that's it. Those are just things you should be on the lookout for. If you'd like to see more of these like kind of what sold videos, let me know in the comments. I've never done something like this. I think it was fun and I enjoy watching other people, so maybe y'all would enjoy watching it for me too. I don't know. Let me know. And please subscribe if you are so inclined. I will be having another video very soon.